How do you do, y'all? Tables here. I wanted to do another update on the build. We are nearing the very end. I am not going to be putting in any more currency into this build. Besides maybe double corrupting a Comb's Heart. But that's honestly probably not going to happen. I don't want to spend 5 EX on a negative resist helm, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with where the build's at right now. We're at 2 million damage, 1.2, 1.3 million Cyrus DPS. Um, and we're looking pretty strong right now, and it feels really good. We did max out, finally got a decent, it's not the best, uh, but we got a decent pair of gloves. We maxed out our fire multiplier. We picked up these boots, which deal our ignites faster. And those are really the two. Oh, and then we got this neck as well with snow forged. And so between the gloves and the necklace, that's more or less what brought our damage like all the way up. Plus our maxed awakened gems and stuff like that. That's really what took our damage like all the way up. We're running a level 23 Armageddon brand. So the POB is looking really strong. There is, however, one major issue. The build is kind of slow, right? The build's kind of slow. I am having a very, very difficult time killing Cyrus. Like major hard time. I've tried to kill him 4 different times, and I have been unsuccessful each time. And I don't know if I need to just find a crangled pair of boots that give me a little bit more resist, or excuse me, a little bit more movement speed, and try to match the resist that I have, because my resists, honestly, they're a little tight right now. And so, because 25% movement speed is it just ain't cutting it. It just ain't cutting it. So obviously I will not be doing a build guide until I kill Cyrus. I'm not willing to put a guide out that is not capable of killing Cyrus. Obviously the damage is there. I know it is fully capable. Honestly, I'm still getting used to the fight. I'm not as good of a player as a lot of other people are. So I'm still learning myself. So be that as it may, I would really like to kill Cyrus before I put a video guide out. Also, our health obviously is a little bit low, and there is an argument to be made in dropping some damage in lieu of some life, right? So I've messed with the idea, right, of dipping out of the recoup as mana. And then probably taking a point elsewhere and filling out these health nodes, which should help us out considerably, and just keeping our 6% of damage recouped as mana. I really like my mana issues are like pretty much non-existent at this point, because of the recoup mana mechanic, right? I rarely have an issue. But without it, it's a little rough. I'm gonna be frank with you guys. The mana situation is a little rough. That's pretty much where I'm at. I can't get rid of these 2 points. We need them. We need 129 dex and 191 strength, and I can't afford to lose any of those points. Quite honestly. So I'm thinking of dipping in on this stuff, because the mana is really it's really only needed for maps, right? Like for Cyrus, I don't think it would really be that big of a deal, versus 16% extra life. So before I do the next Cyrus, that's precisely what I'm going to do. I'm going to dump these nodes. That'll give us 4 extra points. We'll fill these 2 out, so we can dip on this one and this one. Fill these 2 out, get our 16%. Go ahead and keep our deep thoughts, right? Go ahead and keep that the way it needs to be. Get an extra 16% life, and then do Cyrus. And then if I need to, if I'm feeling like I'm gonna get pooped on, you know, I can lose a little bit of damage for some more survivability. We also took out the damage over time multiplier if you've killed recently in lieu of an extra duration node, because I noticed that our duration is a fair bit short on our Ignite and versus our activation frequency on our Armageddon brand. So I wanted to add an extra point for Ignite duration, which just kind of helps smooth out the damage. You know what I mean? It makes it a lot more consistent. Pretty much there's like 0.05 seconds where he's not being damaged. And that's even with one brand. With two, you're perfectly good to go. Fully solid. So yeah, the build's great. Other than Cyrus, the build has tackled every single piece of content that I've thrown at it besides aspirational content. And I'm very pleased. We are up to 12 Exalted Orbs and 3,600 Chaos Orbs. Tomorrow, this video is just a guide about our build. It is final. I am done upgrading. Once I kill Cyrus, the build will be retired, and I will start building, probably in a video, my new build, which all this currency will go to, which is going to be a double strike build with possibly a paradox and a savior. I don't know. We're going to have to build it out and see. But we're probably going to be dropping all of the 50 exalts that I have on that build and just make something just ridiculous. And then when I get bored of that, there's still probably going to be a month left in the league. We'll do another starter so we can have a couple of builds ready for next league. So tomorrow, look for that video. I will do it as soon as I get off work, and we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over in detail what I did in Betrayal. We're going to go over my flask selling process. We're going to go over delving. We're going to go over pretty much every single thing that I've done to make my 50 exalts. And we're going to go over everything. We're going to have a list. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you guys exactly what my thought process was. This is pretty much the most, I think I've made over 100, probably 100 exalts this league. And this 50 is just from the last video that I made, more or less. Probably like 40. So I think I already had 10 on the last video. But that's kind of where we're sitting. The build's good. It's solid. I'm not going to, maybe I should run a map. I should probably just fucking run a map. I'll run this Phoenix map. How about that? There are some things that I don't want to run. Oh my gosh, this is fucking terrible. Monsters are hex proof? Okay, I can't run. Oh my gosh, I'm wasting so many chaos. Hex proof again? Okay, we're gonna have to roll with this. Holy crap, dude. Okay, so there are some map mods that we can't run. We can't run reduced regen maps. Cannot regen. Obviously, we can't do that. 60% is doable, but it's very annoying, so I just chaos it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Vulnerability is a no. Illy weakness is a yes. Cannot regen is a no. We got to be very, very careful with attack speed and crit together specifically. When they're separate, they're not as hard to deal with, but they are kind of dangerous. So when you get those two, when you get a crit, cast speed and attack speed together, be very careful because you will get absolutely shit on. We cannot do ailments immune maps. 70% for mobs to avoid ailments, that's a no-go. So we got about four major map mobs that we just really don't want to do. Other than that, everything's fair game. Reflect maps, obviously, because we got Aegis, and it's pretty much good to go. I'm not gonna bother juicing this map. I'm just gonna throw it up in here, and we'll just rock and roll. Always be sure, especially when you're doing this build, like if you're like a lot of our damage is directly coming from lowering their resistance, right? So the more proactive you are, the better off your experience is going to be, right? And I am constantly constantly doing Wave of Conviction, constantly doing it. Oh no, so we got a little basalt flask. It is one of the most important things when you're talking about damage with an ignite build like this, or really any ignite build, period. Negative resistance is probably your biggest increase in damage, mainly against rares and whatnot. And then when you get a chance, you know, throw out a little flame surge. You know, get a little bit more DPS. It really matters more on bosses than it does anything else. But even on these like little blue packs, you know, throw out a little Wave of Conviction, make your life a little bit easier. You know, and as you can see, like once we get up into like the 100 stack on the league mechanic, it starts to get a little funky. You know, you start to take some pretty extreme amount of damage. And our physical damage reduction is probably like around 65%. It could be a little bit more. And we are running determination. But for the most part, you know, I don't really get into the 200s. I stop around 120 and call that good. And we just slowly crank old maps, you know, no big deal. We're not super sweaty with it. We do what our build can afford. We did hit level 93, which was very exciting. It took me long enough. I just kept dying to stupid shit. And then one day over the weekend, I was like, okay, I gotta focus up. we gotta focus up and get this level. I'm probably gonna stop at 93. I'm not really interested in grinding until 95, even though that would give us, you know, the much needed points. It's just not something I'm really interested in doing in this build per se. Ooh, yeah, see, now we're starting to take a little bit more damage. But as you can see, for the most part, it's a pretty damn smooth experience, even in T16. You know, you throw in some Beyond, you throw in some Nemesis, and you're going to be getting, you know, some really big packs that you're just going to end up melting for the most part, you know. All right, let's do all boss here. That's going to kill me. It did not kill me. Be sure to throw that flame surge is whenever he's stationary. Luckily, our Aegis eats up a bunch of the Ellie damage. And he is dead. I think we did this same boss in another video, and I mean, we're killing things significantly faster now. 100%. with a little bit of a better helm, we would be in an even better situation. Another cool thing, we actually... I corrupted my very first... I just bought one for 36... with 36 fire damage. The very first Val, I hit max life. So that was a nice little bit of a streamer luck or YouTuber luck or whatever. Now I could double corrupt this and get, you know, really pog out with like damage and max life, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not going to waste any more time on the build. But you've seen it in action. Tier 16, you can juice it up as much as you want. Just make sure that your mods reflect how much you're juicing so that you're not constantly dying. Because the build can get a little bit squishy at times, especially with the mods that I mentioned previously. And as you can see here, we save all of our flasks because these are money. These are money. And as you can see, I still have 3 more that I need to sell. This one in particular is pretty solid, though. I wish it wasn't on a Jade Flask. there are certain ones. Well, I'm not even going to go into it. We'll go into it tomorrow when I do the video, when I break down all of my currency strategies. And I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised with some of the things that I talk about. Because it's all real simple stuff. So that is it. That's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out as per the usual. Have a wonderful evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey of the build with me. Look out tomorrow for our currency breakdown, and we'll go over everything. So y'all have a good night. Take care of yourselves and be good.